Hi, we're here with Marcie Bour from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She's with the firm Yip Associates. Marcie does work in forensic accounting and business valuation. Welcome, Marcie.
Thank you, Mike.
How long have you been working in forensic accounting and business valuation?
Well, my very first case was in the early 90s, so it's been quite a while.
Okay. And how'd you get into forensic accounting?
Well, by accident,
okay.
as the way it so often happens.
What was the accident?
Early off in my career, I worked with the formation of limited partnerships. This was actually when I lived up north, and one of the partnerships, as it was getting ready to be funded, had a problem with one of the lenders backing out. And when it came to pursuing the litigation, the lender liability suit, I happened to be the only person who actually understood the deal, so I was asked to estimate lost profits.
Okay, so you were essentially doing sort of traditional accounting work, and then the circumstances evolved in sort of a claim, and then you went from being a traditional accountant into now forensic accounting for the first time.
Yes and no. I mean, at the time I was doing forecasts for an offering memorandum. It was a private offering. So it was a little bit on the consulting side, but it definitely required my knowledge in accounting and actually the operations of the deal.
Okay, all right. Can you describe the kind of firm that you work with and the geographic reach of the firm?
I'm a partner with Yip Associates, and Yip Associates is a financial accounting and forensic investigations firm. We have offices in Boca, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami, and that's consistent with my practice over the past 20 years, which has been pretty much throughout Florida, and occasionally I get cases in other parts of the country.
Okay, and other folks in your firm, again, offices in Florida, do they have geographic reach outside of this area?
Occasionally. Maria Yip is a bankruptcy trustee, so she gets referrals from other trustees within Florida and occasionally outside the state.
Okay.
She also does governmental work for different government agencies, so sometimes those will take her internationally.
Okay, all right, good. For yourself, is there a particular area within forensic accounting and business valuation that you tend to work more as opposed to being a generalist working across many industries or areas?
Complex cases. I seem to get involved in the unusual and the obscure.
Okay.
So while some may call that a generalist, understanding enough to be able to figure things out sets me a little bit apart from the generalists who just do a little bit of everything.
So maybe because you have the ability to handle more complex matters, you tend to get that kind of work as opposed to a simpler case.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any particular industries?
I have extensive background in real estate. I've done over the years quite a bit with healthcare, and then the unusual. I've had industries dealing with the sale of I've done work with a business that sold feathers, for example.
Feathers.
Feathers.
Okay. You're not allergic to feathers, right?
No.
Okay.
Fortunately, I don't have a problem. Although the site inspection was very interesting to actually see a warehouse of feathers.
Did they have a warehouse of ducks or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
mostly ostrich and then some unusual birds. But
Okay.
each time you get an unusual case, you learn a lot
Yes.
about the industry.
That's what's interesting about this kind of work.
Definitely.
Everyone's a different thing, and you learn so much.
So, with regard to feathers, I actually got to learn a little bit about the history of the feather trade, which goes back to South Africa.
Okay.
So, yes, I end up with unusual things.
Okay, all right. Can you talk about a couple of notable projects over your career that are interesting?
Some yes, some no. Unfortunately, we have to be, because of confidentiality, we have to be careful about things that don't go to trial and aren't public knowledge. But the most unusual, at least for me, case was probably valuing an adult entertainment website.
Okay. And did you have to do a site visit or anything?
No.
Okay.
I can testify under oath that I actually never used any of the things that they sold online.
Okay. You got something more also interesting that you've worked on your career?
Well, again, just to finish up on that, I mean, the interesting thing was actually learning about the development of some of the things that fed that industry. Like, most people don't realize Craigslist originally started out as a bulletin board for sex workers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
You know, the early teleconferencing grew so much as an industry because it was the only medium that had the bandwidth to actually show videos. So as I work on things, what's fascinating is what I actually learn about the industry, and I end up knowing all sorts of bizarre things.
Right.
As far as other interesting cases, I mean, I've done work on everything from, you know, commodities where we were dealing with the transaction, you know, tracing what happened to gold and other precious metals.
Was it missing gold, or why are you tracing gold?
Well, that particular case involved a fraud.
Okay.
So we had to show that there wasn't enough gold to collateralize what clients were buying.
Okay. So sort of a broker and a client paid some money to the broker to hold the gold, and the concern was they didn't actually have the gold,
Right,
although I
actually
paid
buy
you.
the gold.
Okay.
But
they didn't buy the gold.
Right, the company actually didn't buy the gold
they just took
or the
my
precious
money.
metals. Yeah,
They
they
just
took the
took my
metal,
money.
but then they were showing we have X amount in our vault, which
Okay.
you know, they,
Sounds
unfortunately.
like maybe a Ponzi scheme, but maybe not. From your perspective, can you comment on what you see as the current and future demand for forensic accounting and business valuation services?
It's huge. I mean, one of the challenges with valuation is getting young people into the profession, and it's difficult because you need experience to actually get into the profession and do it well, and how do you go get experience and be able to work your way up and then transition over? So it's a little bit challenging, and the demand is definitely there. The demand's there now, and I don't think there are enough professionals out there who have the experience.
Right. Can you highlight one or two important traits that younger folks in this line of work might have to be successful in forensic accounting and business valuation?
Get experience. The type of experience doesn't matter. What's important is that you learn from everything that you do, whether you're a cashier at Target or whether you're working as a bookkeeper. Whatever experience you have, you can take something that you observe from the way people transact business, whether it's a customer, whether it's an employer, and how they keep inventory. All that information is valuable when you get into either valuation or forensics, and you have to be able to understand what normal looks like. If you haven't seen normal, you don't know what normal looks like. So all the experiences that
Life
experiences and work experiences, whether you think it's whether you think it's applicable or not, it probably is applicable. So I encourage people to take advantage and be observant, and what the traits that are most important: an inquiring mind, thinking outside the box, and not just settling for, oh, somebody told me this is the way it is.
Right. Okay. Any other advice you would have for students of forensic accounting and business valuation?
Take advantage of every experience you get. Learn from every life experiences and the experiences of your friends and your family. I mean, there are always things out there to observe and things out there to draw upon, and that's and being able to incorporate that into your work is what makes you valuable.
Okay, great. Marcie Bour, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.